there, YouTube. Man, what a difference a day makes. Good Lord. It's been dry since, I don't know, it's probably about 11 noon yesterday. Oh, they put a roof on that little lean-to thing over there. I guess I seen that yesterday, or probably even days before, and I'm just now consciously thinking about it. But it was 50-degree morning, and it's 61 now. Predicted high of 73. So about 10 degrees, about 8 to 10 degrees warmer than it was yesterday. Yesterday was kind of nice. It almost felt like a fall day. It felt good for a change. Everything just had that wet, loomy. I don't know why you ever think positive of those days, but when it's dry for a while, it does feel good. But anyway, let's head on off to the workstead. It's Friday. Quit digging holes under the bushes there, Danny. You're going crazy with that stuff. He's doing one by a bush by the porch too. He does it when he gets scared. He just roots down. But anyway, got to get in there and fill them up as much as you can. Found a little treat. You go around, find where the dogs go to the bathroom, scoop them up with a shovel, and fix your little hole and throw the little piles on top of that. They won't touch that thing for months. But then they'll find some other place to dig, right? Anyway, welcome to Friday. Let's go bust the day out. Diggity. 64 degrees here in Vanchulo. It's Friday. It's not supposed to be too hot. 77 here in Vancouver.
Yep.
That's what it's saying now. So, Mama?
Yes.
Let's go in there and bust out the last day of the week. Work
Alrighty.
week. Work
Sounds
day of
good.
the week.
Yeah.
And next thing you know, the flash of a pan, we'll be heading home, starting our weekend.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Have yourself an awesome Friday there, Mama.
You too, Hoppa.
All right. Love you. See you. Bye.
I love you.
Bye-bye now.
Bye.
All right, then. Let's get this thing piecemealed back together. I've got the dash and everything plugged in, testing everything. And it's all's working as it should. CAN bus hangs out at 60 ohms. Wiggle wires around, nothing does anything weird. I just need to tape everything up and reassemble. Look where whoever was in here, they cut all these zip ties. It's probably part of the problem. All these mounting zip ties, they want this stuff very specifically put a certain way, and you don't do it, and you end up with stuff like that. These clamps aren't popped back in. They're all out of their holes and not doing what they're supposed to do. You got to put them back the way they. BRP spent a lot of time making sure this thing works the way it's supposed to, and people go in there and it's not that they're being careless. They just don't know to pay attention, and bad things happen. Anyway, let's get it. What concerns me is all these accessory wires that are just open down here. I don't even know what that. I'm assuming it goes. Because this one has nothing plugged into it. I just need to make sure this is all routed correctly and smoothly so this doesn't happen again. So we'll do that and move on. I've got a BMW I got to bring down. You remember the 1300 and I think it was a 1250 GSA and a 1250 GS. Did all the services. Those guys were heading for Alaska. Well, they went to Alaska and back, and the GS developed a fork seal leak. So we got fork seals and BMW oil to redo the fork seals, stop the leakage. He was concerned about it as damping and stuff. I wasn't talking to him, but they were trying to explain to him. He goes, those forks are just basically guides. There's no damping. It's hollow forks riding in oil. There's no damping. Your shock up front is doing all the damping. And those are just guides. I had to service manager puts it, he goes, it's just something for the front wheel to hold on, to hold the front wheel. And basically, that's about right. Keeps it going up and down the way it's supposed to, and gives the wheel something to be mounted to. Because it's all done with that shock. But let's get this thing done and get the BMW on. Alright, let's go take her for one more test ride. Make sure no codes go flashy, and which they shouldn't. Feels good to sit down for a moment. Come on there, fence. We ain't got all day. Flip one of the mirrors so I can see good out of them. You only have one, have the left. Unless you're from another part of the world, you need the right one to be working. Everything's backwards. Oh yeah, I forgot that shock is, she's rough. Got a wave on a Ryker from Harley guy. Up here in the Pacific Northwest, we have such a small window of a riding season. We're just all happy to be out there. We're gonna wave at you no matter what you're on. And if you're so uppity that you don't, wow. Thought that Tesla was just gonna, oh actually that's a newer, what do you call it? Electric hybrid, Prius. But yeah, if you're too uppity to wave at people, especially people that are like anti something, whether it be scooters, three-wheelers, reverse trikes, Rykers, Spiders, Canyons. I was talking to a nice gentleman today that I think it was last year he bought a used Spider from us, and he got it from someone that I knew well, so he really got a good Spider. It's an F3T, and anyway, he noticed that his switchgear is starting to mark, his tank cowling. I go, yeah, F3s will do that. You got to be careful in those full lock turns. They will touchy. Right out of the crate, they do it. He goes, oh, my bars adjusted way up. I said, well, with the stock bars, you can't do that. There's a locating pin that sets those bars. There's minimal stuff you can move it. He goes, no, they've come down on me. Well, I can see by the dirt and stuff on the, the way the brace and stuff is. I said, unfortunately, that thing hasn't moved in a long time. He said it just done it. He goes, I noticed it's starting to mark the sides of my tank. I said, well, that takes quite some time. And, F3s, unless you have the, the standard or S model, the bars go back and they will hit the tank. All the T models and the limited models will hit. Look, I'm so absolutely sure this thing's fixed. I didn't even looking to see if any code's coming up. It's like one of those things that you just see too many weird things, and you fix something and you go, well, that'll definitely help things out, but it doesn't explain why that cluster is going off like it is. And everything's tied to the cluster. So if the cluster shuts down, then the system's going to think that the VSS is disconnected, or which is part of VSS, that your brakes are failing. All this weird stuff's going on, because that cluster is kind of like the communication hub to the ECM. And if the ECM is not getting the right communication, it can only think that it's failed. And when it's failed, unless it's something that's measuring a parameter, it's basically looking for either the right signal, voltage-wise, resistance-wise, however, or whatever. And if it doesn't detect it, what it says is it's an open or short, meaning it doesn't know what it is because it can't tell whatever reading it's looking for. So literally, it can either be a wide open circuit or a shorted circuit. Either one's going to produce no info. Without the info, it gets triggered. Things with info, things like, air's leaking out of your rear suspension. There's an air leak detected, or, temperature's overheating, or whatever. Brake fluid level is low. Things that it can measure that will report to you. As long as everything's within parameters, it's not going to throw a fault. But what this was saying is that things were opened or shorted. It had no information. And the thing is, it was literally saying in the Buds 3 under the codes, it says, it doesn't say the information is not being received. Oh, that's a beautiful husky. So that was concerning to me, and I didn't realize that the Techline guys can apparently pull history off of these things. The Buds report is telling them way more than what we see, which is, that's not unusual. BMW's the same way. They can pull all kinds of stuff off of there. You ain't playing no tricks on them. Oh, Rick, I haven't seen that boy in a hot minute. At least swing by and say hey to him. It's usually quite brief, but that's all I need to know, that the good old boy is happy. Sometimes he's a little talkative, and which is nice. What's funny is I don't recognize any of the people that he would stand there and shoot the bull with sometimes. Oh, Rick, he liked hanging out with the girls, though, didn't he? I don't blame you. Zoom, zoom, zoom. These Rykers, if nothing else, are just a barrel of monkeys fun. Crazy how quick these things are. You can just rip. But I think, when I kept saying, it seemed to do it at slow speeds, I think what it was is, you're moving the bars more at slow speeds. Even in turns, you're not moving the bars very much. You come to a stop, you will do, way more corrections when you're standing still or barely moving than you ever will at speed, for obvious reasons. And that seemed to be when it was pulling. These accessory wires and stuff that he's got up in here, these things were zip tied in tight, and I chose not to do that. because I mean they're laying perfectly fine and they're in a holder, not going anywhere. But it's so tight in there between this, you know, this front cover that comes out. There's just too many wires. Way too much stuff going on in this little U-shaped thing that's kind of like the reverse of this on that plate. It's just going to damage something else. And so did what I could to give it a long and fruitful life, but that's just way too much stuff going in there. I mean, the only BRP accessory going up is the handguard lights, which is BRP stuff. But he's got these random power wires going to both sides. I mean, people do that, but it's just so much stuff. It's just shoehorned in there. I was routing back and forth trying to figure out a way to, well, I found the smoothest way I could get it to go in there and get it all in there. But I guess it lived this long before it faulted. But that zip tie being in there, you guys ever like tighten the zip tie where you put it on something you really need to hold it? So you'll grab like a pair of lineman pliers or something like that and just give her a good old yank, get her good and tight. You absolutely don't want that to move. Well, you don't want to do that with a cluster of wires for many obvious reasons. And those damaged power wires and the broken CAN bus low wire was all of that happened where that zip tie was, and there was no reason for the zip tie to be there. But I don't think it was him, because I mean he's got his own zip ties around stuff there. You know, you got to just tight enough that things aren't moving around, but he doesn't have everything cinched down. So you don't know about these things. You know, see the second or third owner, how many people have put all kinds of gizmos and gadgets on this thing. One thing about these Shad or whatever they are bags that Sling Mods sells, that thing is lit up like a Christmas tree when you hit the, well, I think they're running lights too, but I know they're brake lights. I missed that 2019 Ryker Rally I had. That was a long time to have something, then you go, oh, here's it back. But I was glad to get back on an RT though. It was fun, and the special thing about that RT is that was the first year of the new body style, the old white one. Remember, it had its 45 to 55 miles an hour to get that whip antenna whistle going on. Well, I'm up there trying to figure out where's that daggum whistle coming from. Whatever it is, I really like it, but I'm thinking to myself, people are going to ask about this. Because people, just certain noise irritate people. Somebody rides something that's rattling on, cam chain tensioners about to literally fall out, things banging and rattling and carrying on, and there'll be a whistle somewhere. I can't deal with that. So aren't you concerned about the bike falling apart underneath you and you're worried about a whistle? That's the least of your concerns, son. Boy, we're loaded down here. Yep, see this guy? I'm on your little cousin's bike. Confusion has set in. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know where I'm going. But the nav says you've arrived. now what? I love it when it says you arrived. And you know, the building's, you know, a block down still. Reach. These things just kind of rattle everywhere on them. But it's just one of those things. It's a characteristic of it. You know, you get the shield, it rattles, and you know, especially aftermarket stuff you have on there, just a rattling and carrying on. But it does that every time you ride it, and you don't think about it. The acceleration is impressive. He's got his anti-gravity battery. I didn't see a reason to... Oh, I need to bring that other battery up, because to keep track of inventory, they just put it on the RO. Well, if it doesn't get if it doesn't get taken off, it'll end up on his bill. We've literally had people that have paid for something they didn't want, and never knew they did it. They just pay the bill and walk off. And we got to call them up and say, hey, you got money coming back. We accidentally charged you for a starter motor or something you said you didn't want to do, or whatever it may be. They can be so picky about their money, but then when they pay the bill, they don't look at it and don't realize they paid for something that they didn't want. But she's all happy. Let's let her be free in the wild. Nice weekend to come get it. All right. Thanks for watching the Ryker Rally saga. It was fun, and it all worked out. And that's the best thing. They always end up working out. There's a whole bunch of little him and hawing and scratching heads going on in between sometimes, but it all works out. All right. Thanks for watching. As the old saying goes, what a difference a day makes. Road's all dried out. It's probably all crunchy again. Chichi and I are on our walk. Scared a quail off the ground. It flew across and went right back into these trees where they were the other day. It was just one. But it was never just one, it seems. When they land in those trees, unless you scare them out, they sure do hide good. They'll make that little, I don't know what you call it, their little weird sound they make, and you can zero in on them if they do that, but they just flew in there and it stopped in one of the trees there. I'd be staring down there looking at, up there staring down looking at us. Got Sasha excited. She's pulling like a crazy dog. Remember the turkey buzzards from last night? Wait till you see this. Scared one out of a tree. Look how many are out there. That's crazy. There's a whole bunch of them sitting in that tree over there. There he is. Look how many sitting in that tree tonight. That's crazy. Man, what's with all the buzzards? That is some kind of creepy. You're not worried about them buzzards at all, are you? Gotta be careful. If I stop too long, it cancels it pauses my workout thing. Why don't you just roll back? Hope they don't sneak attack us and take us both down. That would be not good, huh? Crazy dog. Hello there, YouTube. Nice, cool ride home. Actually, towards the end, we're riding with the windows up, even though it got the like 77 or something it was. But it's a good day. Got the Ryker done. Test ride. She didn't. I knew nothing was going to go off when I rode it, but that was nice. And trying to think what else. Guess it wasn't important. I'm already in the at home mode. It's hard to think about work once you've done bailed out. Get the weekend, and looking forward to that. Mama said she had a casual day, a couple of crazy spots in between, but other than that, just kind of went nice and smooth. People probably going on vacations and stuff this time of year, camping and whatever. But I think on that, we're gonna roll out on you.
Alrighty, well, thank you guys so much for watching. We really do appreciate it. We will talk to you tomorrow. Same Smoak time, same Smoak channel. Don't forget to give a thumbs up, and you guys have a wonderful Saturday or Sunday.
Heck yeah. I see a little Raylin out there waiting for us.
Yeah.
I see a little beady eyes staring over. He'll be done here in a second. All right. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
We see you tomorrow.
All right. Thanks for watching now. Bye-bye.